Call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock p.m. on Wednesday, March 12th. If you guys could look at the meeting minutes from last meeting. One correction. Daniel, were you here last week?
I did it from the video, so if I made a mistake,
What,
I'll
were
blame
you
it on
here
that.
last month? You were at the last meeting, right?
I wasn't, no,
Oh.
I missed it.
I was like, you're always here, so. All right, I guess not an error then. I was so used to you being here.
Oh, that was the error that it was listed, I wasn't here? Is that
Well,
what-
no, I didn't see your name and I thought
Gotcha.
you would be here.
Gotcha.
So, not an error.
Got it.
If there's no questions or comments, do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I second that motion.
I'll make a motion to approve and second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. And do we have any public comment today?
No.
All right, moving on to the director's report.
Okay, so actually, it's looking pretty good. Our circulation for physical and for electronic is up from last year, excuse me. But you know, the electronic in particular is all over the place. It's hard to gauge. But it's looking pretty strong, so I'm pretty happy with those results. Library visits, physical are up, so that's great. We like people coming through the door. I like to walk around and see every place in the library being used. Visits to our catalog, a little bit down. That's where they go through our webpage, click all the way through to the catalog and do a search. So, you know, I don't know what to make of that, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, but it is what it is. Attendance is just slightly down. We're about to move into our big programming. As a matter of fact, this Saturday is Pet Fest, and y'all should go. We had alpaca last year. I mean, I'll be there for sure. And it's also the opening of the dog park, but that happens before Pet Fest, so you can do all of it. And outreach numbers are good. Tiara couldn't make it today, but she will be reporting back intermittently over the year. So we had a lot of awesome programs last month. The Black History Month mini book buzz. We do that every year, different books, obviously. It's an online event, so you can tune in and get reviews of some upcoming novels and nonfiction. We had a period party, so that was aimed at our tween group, but anybody could join. That went over really well, and Daniel's sister, who is a nurse, came and conducted that presentation. We got a lot of good feedback on it. And then we had our 17th romance reader social, which is always a lot of fun and featured a lot of local authors, including one who is on the Equity Commission. And that's all I have on that. Do y'all have any questions?
What time does Pet Fest start?
2.
2 p.m.
Did registration max out on the Romance Readers Social?
I'm sure it did.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Do you know if the number of library cards has increased with all the increase in population?
Yes, it has, actually. I report that once a year at the end of the fiscal year. I'd be happy to include that on our monthly reports if you'd like. But yeah, I think we went up about 3,000 cards last year, which is
Nice.
fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, I was just curious.
Okay.
Anybody have any other questions or comments?
I was just gonna add that my husband took our kids to the drum. It was like during the day. I'm trying to remember the name of the event, but it had drums and there was like a presentation, and he really enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Good.
it was a great. He said there was well attended too. So
That's fantastic. We always like feedback, mostly good feedback.
yeah.
But we'll listen to the bad feedback.
All right, moving on to the discussion about the legislation that's coming up.
Okay, so it's been a busy month for legislation. And I threw this in at the last minute. This is the library legislation that they acted on today. So, but that doesn't mean that it's passed forever. It's just there was some movement and action on these bills, and I'll talk about it in a minute. So the governor and the lieutenant governor set their priority bills, and those are the bills that they're really going to push through. I don't know if it's guaranteed that they're going through, but I would assume that probably. And then one of those, hey, that's all right. One of those bills, SB 13, is really directed at school libraries. It has been my experience that often stuff starts off at the school library level and then moves up. So I'm still looking at school library legislation. I'm not including all of it in the reports, but I'm still looking at it to sort of get an idea of what could be coming. But SB 13 is relating to a school district's library materials catalog and the creation of a local school library advisory council and parental rights regarding public school library catalogs and access by the parent's child to library materials. So it would be, things would have to go through this advisory board before it could be put into the collection. I don't know in the school setting how much that they're buying every year, because I'm not a school librarian. If this were applied to public libraries, it would be very difficult because tens of thousands of stuff, of materials, electronic and physical. So that would make our jobs not very pleasant at all. But that bill will be on the floor probably within the week. The last day to file is Friday, so no new bills can be unless, there is a caveat to that, but I can't remember what it is. But for the most part, filing of bills ends on the 14th. SB 412 is relating to defenses in prosecution for certain offenses involving material and conduct that is obscene or otherwise harmful to children. It's likely going to be a priority for the lieutenant governor. I also sat through the Texas Library Association's legislative update, so a lot of this I got from that. The fastest moving bills right now are Senate Bill 412 and Senate Bill 13. Senate Bill 18, also known as the drag bill, is relating to prohibiting municipal libraries that host certain events from receiving state or other public funding. It is a lieutenant governor priority according to TLA and will probably move to the floor sooner rather than later. House Bill 3225 is relating to the prohibition of access by minors to sexually explicit materials in municipal public library collections, providing a civil penalty, and the companion bill to that, sorry, it's not a companion bill, but House Bill 2572 that also affects public libraries is relating to the authority of a public library to financially support the American Library Association. So basically that one would be, we could not use taxpayer dollars to belong to ALA or to go to any of the continuing education or anything like that. And so those two will probably move pretty quickly also. Bills to watch is House Bill 183, 177, and 4010. These are mostly affecting school libraries, and the text can be found on the TLA bill tracker. It is always good to keep up with those. There were a lot of bills this year. I think it was almost double what it was last year. There was 6,464 bills filed. Not all of them library related, thankfully. But again, if you go online, there's a bunch of different places that you can go, and you type in those bill numbers, you can look at the entire text of the bill, and I do encourage you to do that. And that's what I have for legislative update. Again, this one, the skinny one, is action on bills today. Senate Bill 20 is moving into stage 4, so it's coming out of the Senate and going into the House.
Do you know what that one is?
That one is,
These are all based on visual representation of children I just looked all of them up, so.
Yeah.
They're all
Okay.
touching that in some form or another.
And some of them are exactly the same. So it's just, they're called companion bills, but really it's the same bill. And let's see, this one is SB 442, SB 1621. And so those. I've been watching the committee hearings as much as I can, and trying to keep up with all of it. But yeah, there's more coming, so more hearings and things coming.
These ones are targeted more towards graphic novels, right?
If it's visual, it could be graphic novels, but it could also be videos or streaming movies or something like that.
If these bills do pass that are concerning and will affect the library, is the library planning on complying if they get passed or not complying?
Well, it will be state law.
Doesn't mean you have to comply, you just won't get funding, right?
Some of these are putting like a civil penalty on it of $10,000 per
Okay.
item, which I don't think the city would be happy about. But also, some of them will involve possible jail or prison time and being registered as a sexual offender.
Wow.
Yeah.
So do we have a plan, or are we working on a plan if these are passed on next steps after that?
I think that the best thing that we can do now is to see what some of our colleagues are doing in states where these have passed, because these exact same bills have passed in multiple states. Also, seeing what our colleagues around us are doing. I think that we're kind of in a bubble because we have Austin right there. But, as far as a solid plan, it's really hard to have a solid plan when they don't give you the parameters of what is considered obscene.
Right.
Because one of the things they want to do is take out the loophole of the Miller test, which is actually a Supreme Court ruling, but whatever. So we can't really it's so vague that anybody could walk in and claim that anything that we have on the shelf is harmful to children. And this could be something that just mentions LGBTQ or trans people or abortion or critical race theory. So it doesn't necessarily have to be obscene. It could be just something that somebody claims is harmful. And then the onus would be on us to either remove the item or somehow prove that it's not harmful, which is very subjective. So that makes it really difficult.
Is there a way we can set up like a counteract in case these do pass, where the board reviews it maybe and takes it out of the library's hands so you guys aren't punishable?
That's a good question. I would say that we will have to at least wait until we know how this is going to end up. They could be putting in amendments before it happens. And it would be great if the library board could be the reviewers. I'm not sure that you guys want to review 10,000 books, but we'll figure it out. The other thing is when they say restrict the items, keep minors from being able to get the items. Again, they don't clarify what they mean by that. Does it mean that we have an adult-only section where kids cannot come in at all? Does it mean if they have parental consent, they can come in? Hello. Do we make the whole library adult-only and you can't come in if you're under 18 without a parent or guardian? That makes it difficult for some of our young people that are maybe 17, they're not living at home. I mean, I was that kid. I wasn't living at home at 17, and I was going to college though, and I did need to use the public library. So problems, that is another problem. That could take any form. They could say that just the fact that you have it in your library, somebody could check it out, take it home, a child could access it there. I hope they wouldn't go that far, but that's just my personal opinion. Y'all make up your own minds, but long story short, we can't really have a solid plan until we know what their parameters are. I do have ideas and the whole staff is constantly thinking and reading and talking to people and getting ideas. So hopefully, you know, it will work out and we'll be able to continue to serve everybody in the community like we want to serve them.
What's their issue with the ALA? Is it the standard woke supporting?
They have a problem with the ALA because most of us look to the ALA for guidance when we're looking at things that, you know, are on that fine line between what would be considered obscene and what isn't. But also, I think that we had a very outspoken president of the ALA last year, and I don't think that too many lawmakers were very happy with her.
Okay.
Yeah, so that might have had a lot to do with it, but yeah, not the only state that's doing this. It's all over.
Is there plans to fund that, if that's something that's being done here externally, or like through the Friends, or like how would you fund it then?
Fun with,
Like ALA trainings and memberships?
out of our own pocket probably. No tax dollars would be able to go to it.
But it could be like donations and things?
I think that's a possibility. It would also, I think that's a definite possibility. We let our Friends group decide what to do with their donations, so.
The legislation doesn't say anyone who's receiving state funds, it's just they can't use state funds?
It's just said, and you can't use state funds
Okay.
for it, yeah.
Do you know what the like cost of that roughly is every year?
For membership, it's based on your salary, so, you know, it's probably a close to 200, I think, a person. We have 8 professional librarians and programmers, and then going to the trainings or the committees, like I'm on the Intellectual Freedom Roundtable, so I would not be able to go using state dollars to like conference or anything else, even though I'm required to do that to be on the roundtable. So yeah, we have, not everybody goes to conference with ALA, and it would just, we'd have to only allow those people that could afford to go themselves or get a stipend to go for that. Now, a lot of people also go to the Texas Library Association annual conference, which is coming up next month. Our librarians, though, have gotten to the point that they're the ones that are actually doing the presentations and the instructions. So there are still a lot of really good resources at that, but I would have liked them to be able to go on to the next level and do ALA. So, and some of them are this year, but it may be the last year.
I had another question about the bills. What's the timeline for like the soonest one that action may be needed for?
Okay, they have to file by the 14th, and then the session doesn't actually end until, I want to say June 3rd. It's somewhere in the beginning of June. So at that point, if I understand this correctly, at that point, they either need to decide on the bill and the governor signs it, and then it would go into effect whenever it says in the actual bill, because some would be going into effect immediately, some on September 1st, some January 1st. And then, and somebody who knows more about legislation, please correct me if I'm wrong, the ones that are not necessarily signed by the governor but aren't vetoed could actually just go into law without being signed.
So is there a grace period between when they set the parameters? Like, let's say bill number X passes and we've got to comply with this, and they say this is what you need to do. Is there a like grace period to get that set up? Or?
In other communities, other states, they have given them like a year to weed out stuff from their collection that, you know, and I don't know with the other states. That's a very good question. I should find out. If they have been given parameters. So yeah, great question. I will try and get a hold of some of my colleagues in Virginia and Tennessee and Arkansas, and ask them if they were even given parameters at all, because yeah, we don't know.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
Any other questions or comments? All right, moving on to the student liaison. Lucas, how's it going?
Good. Sorry I was late today. I was picking up my sister from the airport because she just got back for spring break, which is coming up. And I mean, I was only a minute late, but I was scared to knock and I was outside the door, so.
Next time, just come in.
I know. But yeah, and then for the stuff going on at school, I wouldn't say there's that much that's notable. I mean, AP exams are coming up, so our libraries are hosting a lot of like prep sessions. Spring break is coming up. If there's anything else, like, I could find it out. I mean, I was just not really sure like any specific information that I should bring along each time. I remember the last time I was here, I was talking about like the career fairs that were coming up, and I was giving like the, I believe like marketing coordinator the dates for those, but yeah.
How did the career fair go? Did you attend?
I didn't go myself.
Did you hear anything about it?
I mean, I hear it was pretty good. I know like, my physics teacher went because it was also like the high school like classes, and like the teachers were there to like promote their courses or like extracurriculars. Like they were there too to talk about that stuff. But yeah.
All right, good deal. Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you. Tiara is absent today, so we'll move on to consideration and discussion for the library policies.
okay, so I haven't done anything with them since last month. I wanted to give everybody a chance to look them over and, you know, take notes or whatever as to anything that you would like changed other than my appalling grammar and punctuation skills.
We skipped over the friends, but there's not a friends
No.
here, so I didn't know if you needed to add anything.
Just say whatever you would say for PR,
Okay.
absent.
Is this posted online?
Is it passed out on?
But no, the policy is posted.
Yes, it
online?
is posted.
Does it have to be 508 compliant?
Say it again.
Does it have to be 508 compliant?
I don't think so.
What is 508
I don't
compliant?
know what that is.
Just in compliance with different accessibility, like 508 is usually the standard used by like state and federal government as well as organizations that work with them, so I wasn't sure if it went down to the municipal level.
The website itself has text-to-speech and that sort of thing. And we also have that here, so. I don't know if it works on the PDFs. I'll find out.
The only reason I ask is because the highlighting green, I don't think that would pass color contrast, so you might want to look at a different highlighter color so that a screen reader or someone with color blindness would be able to read it.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. Content changes, I haven't made any, and half of me wants to wait until after we know something, since our collection development policy is pretty extensive right now. If that changes, or if I anticipate that that is changing, but might change again frequently, like the harassment policies do, I might just link to whatever the state puts up there to say is there, that was something we have to adhere to. So, I don't know. You may be seeing this again, I guess is what I'm saying.
Did you hear anything else about the library cards becoming a possible form of ID?
And Melissa is still working on it. I haven't heard any opposition to it. Austin does it, and we have the equipment now to do it, so
Very cool.
we're moving in that direction. And I have a note in here for 2.6, guest privacy. I'm wondering if we should leave that where it is in the policies, or we should move it up. I do anticipate changes to that, because if we are going to be told that we have to allow parents to have access to, kids check out or whatever, that's all going to affect our policies.
Yeah, I think if we moved up higher to get closer to guest responsibilities and anything else pertains to that would be a good idea.
We don't have to approve these today. If y'all want to wait another month or so and see where we're at with the legislation, or if you want to approve them now and just amend them later, it's completely up to y'all.
I personally had vacation on the brain, so I did not review them like I was supposed to.
Okay.
But does anybody else have any input?
I don't know if it's wise to wait instead of heavily amend, if a couple of the sections would have to be heavily modified.
Madison, what do you think?
I think it makes more sense to wait if the legislation is going to go into effect quickly. I don't know.
I agree.
And if there wasn't a chance for everybody to review it.
Oscar?
I'm in agreement.
Say it again?
We can wait.
Okay. Sarah?
I'd rather wait.
And Mia, right? Or who's down at the end?
Jocelyn?
Jocelyn.
Jocelyn.
I
Sorry.
agree.
I'm horrible with names.
If we have feedback, do we bring it next time, or do
If
we?
you have to, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
If we have feedback, so if we review the whole
Oh,
thing.
you
and
can
take
just
notes,
email me.
Email it
Yeah.
to everybody or just to you?
To me, because otherwise it gets into weird open meetings act stuff.
Okay, that's what.
But then I can disseminate it to
Yes.
everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's decided, then we'll wait another month.
Okay. So somebody needs to make a motion.
I make a motion to hold another month and discuss and consider action on approving policies next month.
Seconded.
All those in favor say aye.
Sorry, who said second?
Sorry.
Oh, gotcha, thank you.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. And does anybody, any other board members have anything they would want to bring up? We wouldn't be able to discuss it now, but if you wanted to introduce it,
I had a general question. Can I ask that now?
I think so.
If we had things, this is the first time I've done this, so I've done 2 of these. If we have something we want to discuss, how do we talk about it? Is it just the things on this, or do we present?
No.
You can
you
email
can present
me at
anything.
any time. If there's a topic you want on there, and I'll get with Matt and we'll put it on there. As long as it's somewhat library.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys have any thoughts or anything you want to see on the agenda in upcoming months, just email it in. Are you going to give us a clue what it is?
No, I didn't have anything
Oh, all
specific.
right. All right. Then I think that's everything for this meeting.
I don't have anything else.
So do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
And do we have a second?
I second that motion.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. So we are adjourned.
Thank you.